Yes. Yeah. It's QFTA. I'm Tim McKernan. What's up? Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's Jackson Burkett. Yeah. James Carlton, Carl State Farm Insurance Agency. How about this, Jackson? Number one, I can hear somebody pissing 3 feet from me. Number two, I just got this in my DMs, and I love the DMs because the ladies come a-calling.
That's right.
Just heard a gentleman flush. And you go, well, how do you know it's a man?
Right.
The stream was of somebody standing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Fair?
Yeah. You can't really hear a stream of someone sitting.
No. Hey, Tim. I've been with my State Farm agent for 25 years. He's a family friend, but has pretty much checked out the last couple of years. He's almost 70 years old. I've had 3 issues over the last 5 years. Each time I've called, they had to leave a voicemail. Not one time did they call me back that day. So I called James Carlton today. My phone call was answered before the end of the first ring. I then asked if I could talk to James. She said he's wrapping up a call right now. He said, tell him it's Herb's hog.
Nice.
I waited 30 seconds, then talked to James for 10 minutes. What an operation he has. I love that guy. Thank you, James Carlton. That DM was sent to me at 12:24. You and I are talking at 12:33.
Well, my parents just went by James Carlton's office.
Everybody's going. What's going on there?
Had a very positive experience. They talked about how much they appreciate James. He's world class. And he's a wonderful sponsor of this podcast.
He is. So is Seth Goldcamp, Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. And Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, online at evergreenstl.com. Man, I like that Mark Hanna. He's just good peeps.
That's exactly what he is.
You know? Mm-hmm. You know what he is? He's a good cat.
He's a good cat. He's a good seed.
I like that.
Because they sometimes say bad seed. He's a good seed.
Yeah, he is. EvergreenSTL.com. And then Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the program is called QFTA. A couple pieces of news and notes for you. You're getting 2 podcasts of the Tim McKernan Show this week. Number 1, St. Louis Starter Packs interview. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to it. I kind of think, and I talked a little bit about it with him, that Brett Knowles, DBA, St. Louis Starter Packs, could see doing a show with them.
Yeah, he's
I could see doing a show with him.
He's really talented.
Yeah, he is.
Super funny. Insightful, I would say, and articulate. You know,
we've gotten a bunch of, however, DMs, texts even, emails about the interview, and I can't speak to what he's gotten. I would imagine he had to get some hate because that's kind of the deal. Yeah. But both of us have said to the other that we got more feedback when we kind of talked about the state of the region than him and St. Louis Starter Packs or him and his voices on TMA. How about that? Kind of a surprise. Wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, it's that topic, I think, encourages more engagement, people sharing their own opinion. You know, I hear a story of like an origin story, and I'm just like, when I absorb
an origin story?
Orgy or origin, either one. I'd kind of just absorb it and think like, oh, that's cool. That's very interesting. I like hearing that. Yeah. Or like when you hear something like about the region, you're like, oh, well, I liked what you said there. Here's my take on it. You know, it's more of a interactive topic.
I like that. A give and take, if you will.
Indeed.
So if you missed that, Tim McKernan Show, I think that went up on Monday.
Yeah. Tuesday. Monday we
Perfect.
were off.
Yeah. So this is the 23rd, so that meant it went up on the 21st. This episode going up on January 23rd, 2025. 25 years ago today, Jackson Bennett Burkett. I went to O'Connell's.
Nice.
With my father. Up from Little Rock, I was.
Oh, nice.
Talking like Yoda.
Yeah, I like that.
By the way, the gift that has just been sent out.
Is it a Yoda gift?
It might be. It might be some of my best work.
Oh, I see it. Oh, God. It looks like Rami Malek playing Freddie Mercury, but, you know, sprinkled something else in there. Wow.
I'm really proud of myself. I'm excited about myself.
That's a hairless gentleman.
Yet again, I'm excited about myself. 25 years ago today, Jackson Bennett Burkett. And I don't know what the fuck this was about now that I'm thinking about it, because Uber wasn't around. Went to O'Connell's with my father. I was up from Little Rock. I took the week off from my television job. I don't want to brag, but fine. I was making $22,000 a year. Again, ladies, slide into my DMs because I did not invest any of that money, and there was a lot of disposable income.
Yeah, $22K gross.
That's right.
Uncle Sam didn't even get his pincers on it.
That's right. And I was the number 3 guy in Little Rock, but they whacked the sports director a weekend, so then I slid up the depth chart to number 2.
But no pay increase.
That's right.
Right.
And yet, thousands of people go to journalism school still, 25 years later. But I digress. So I'm off because I'm thinking the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. I want to be in St. Louis for the Super Bowl. Somehow we get tickets to the game, which was kind of insane. It's the Rams-Buccaneers NFC Championship game. I think I met some of my partners at O'Connell's along with my dad. And I guess we took a cab down there because right where Sugar Fire is now on Washington,
Yeah.
that's where we got out.
Okay. Yeah, right by the...
And then went into the building thinking that the Rams were going to skull fuck the Buccaneers.
Sure.
I remember seeing Warren Sapp walk out onto the field, and he just kind of stood there and embraced the hate of the crowd.
Yeah.
Buildings packed. People are this is the day St. Louis is going to go to the Super Bowl. It's similar to me to when I went to my first SEC championship game. I'm like, Missouri is in the SEC championship. Like, what? And you see the banners at the time, it was the Georgia Dome, of the previous SEC matchups in the SEC championship. And it's like Florida against Alabama. And I'm going, Tim Tebow, and, take your pick of whatever other storied teams in the SEC. And I'm like, here's Missouri. Like, Missouri.
Right. Quarterbacked by James Franklin.
That's right. / Matty Mock.
Yeah.
So that dynamic was so strange. And then the game gets going, and they just can't score.
Right.
But so help me. I guess they were down 6-5, I believe. I know that sounds fucking nuts. Jackson's going to crowdsource this. But they're down 6-5. 25 years ago. I mean, literally 25 years ago at about this moment, I think we're getting out of the car to, we're probably at O'Connell's. God, 25 years ago. Holy shit. So how old was my dad? So he was in his 50s, but I mean, he wasn't that much older than I am now.
Jesus.
What's that?
The score of the game, the final score is
11-6, right?
11-6.
Yeah.
So I guess safety had to play.
That's correct.
Field goal in the safety to make it 6-5. That's a baseball score right there. That is that's odd.
So it's 6-5 when Pat Summerall, right after John Madden, said, somebody at some point is going to make a play to put their team into the Super Bowl. And then with a little gap in time, Summerall, Warner, touchdown. Couldn't be more simple, couldn't be more wonderful. And so help me. It's the only time in my life at a sporting event that the surge of energy was so powerful that I went from standing to almost knocked over by it, and I turned around to grab my seat, to hold myself up. It was euphoric.
Would you say that's your best sports viewing moment in your life?
To be there with my dad,
Right.
to send St. Louis to a Super Bowl, and considering again that it looked like they were going to lose the game, I think the Warner to Prohl play that happened 25 years ago to the day was on 3rd down. I think they were in Buccaneers territory. It was certainly near midfield. Do you have this in front of you, ladies and gentlemen? I'm currently crowdsourcing.
I'm working on that. So this would have been January the 23rd, 2000.
Earlier in the day, the Titans shocked the Jaguars to advance to the Super Bowl. Fun facts for no one tell. Mark Burnell.
That game, by the way, was pretty far and away the lowest scoring game of the Rams season.
I bet the Super Bowl was pretty damn close because that was 16-16 before Warner to Bruce. I think he rainbowed the sideline for that one per Al Michaels.
Matter of fact, through week 8, the lowest amount of points they scored was 21. So that's like jarring.
And they just had to pull the dogs off because they were beating the shit out of tape.
Right. That is insanity. So that Ricky Prohl touchdown was on. It's tough to. I don't think they have to get drive. I don't think it's going through the drives.
Oh,
I know. Nice show prep ass.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
exactly right.
Got it. It was don't talk too much, kid. It was the 6th play of the drive.
You don't know what the down and distance was, though.
I don't.
You fucking kidding me around here? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold on. Full play-by-play. Scrolling down. 4th quarter. Warner touchdown was on 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4. What yard were they on?
They were on the Tampa Bay 30.
Okay. So, was Jeff Wilkins the kicker?
Yeah.
So he would have had a 47-yarder.
Right.
Whew. Now, the thing that was stunning about it, and I didn't realize this, and Jim Edmonds and I, which is super random, but it speaks to Sea Monster as a great guest booker, when we did our program, got Bert Emanuel, who was a receiver for the Buccaneers, on the show, and the Buccaneers and their really piss-poor offense drove down the field. Now, they have to score a touchdown because the Rams didn't convert the 2-point conversion, hence the random 11-6 score.
Right.
After a safety and a field goal, 3 + 2, 5. That's why it was what it was. They're driving down the field. And I have to say, where we were sitting, they were heading toward us. I never really felt like they were threatening. I don't know why. Do you know who their quarterback was? You're looking at the play-by-play.
I do.
Sean King. I mean, you know, a few years later they'd have Rich Gannon, who would be, no, they'd go up against Rich Gannon with the Buccaneers and the Raiders Super Bowl. Anyway, point being, not much of an offense there. Warwick Dunn might have been on that team.
He was. Here's something interesting.
What do you got?
2 things. Okay. One, Jeff Wilkins had missed a 44-yarder earlier in the game.
In the first half or second half?
For second quarter. And then the reason that the safety happened was because of an illegal bat penalty. Or the
illegal bat?
There was an illegal bat that they declined because of the safety. So either way, they would have been cooking.
Wow.
They declined the illegal bat penalty, which is a rare one. So there's rare stuff going on throughout the game. But Wilkins had missed a kick earlier, so they're probably a little tight. Vermeil's probably a little tight. Really wanted to get that touchdown.
I mean, that game was grueling. It'd be one thing if it's like 31-28, but the Rams, that offense, the greatest show on turf, had 5 points.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What a sliding doors moment that 3rd and 4 play was for the Rams. I guess, like now, I guess in the NFL now, 47-yard field goal is like a chip shot, I feel like. Real. It wasn't then. And also, something that would be more common now is, let's say they were at the 40 and it was 4th and 4. I don't know, even now, college, they're going for it.
For sure.
Pros, they're probably kicking it, considering the set of circumstances. But to throw that ball, a deep ball, against a defense that just had not allowed anything all day, and then Pearl makes this catch. God, it was euphoric. It was absolutely the best.
Holy shit. I mean, it's the number. I mean, Marshall Faulk, 17 for 44. Isaac Bruce had 3 receptions for 22 yards. Ricky Prohl he had 6 receptions for 100 yards that game.
How about that?
Wow.
The Buccaneers drove down the field, and there was a ruling on the Bert Emanuel catches, the Bert Emanuel rule, which still sticks around to this day, that for fans of the Buccaneers in the Tampa area, it's talked about similarly to Cardinal fans talking about the Dinkinger call. Now, this call is much less famous than the Dinkinger call, and I think people would agree with that, taking St. Louis out of the equation. But they really feel like they got banged on it. And I have to be honest here, because I caught plenty of hell in St. Louis for going, the infield fly rule against the Braves in 2012. The Braves got banged, and of course I was the bad guy because you can't go against the hometown team, whatever, fuck off, don't care. But is that Pesci?
A little Pesci. That was like Irishman Pesci, a little more subdued.
But on this one, I'm like, I don't really, that didn't mean the Buccaneers were going to score. It's not like Emmanuel scored a touchdown and they waved it off. But either way, God almighty. And then there was only a week between the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game.
Oh, I like that so much.
Which is rare, but that's what it was. And then there was like an ice storm in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
But the sliding doors moment is as follows. The job opening at KMOV that rescued me from Little Rock, Arkansas, only existed because Steve Savard and Doug Vaughn got the call to go down to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. Savard, sports director, Doug, the number 2 guy, the weekend anchor. And the number 3 guy, a gentleman by the name of Bob West, did not get the call to go to Atlanta and had to stay back in case the satellite feed would go out and had to have a sportscast prepared. I understand. I've still never met the man. I understand he was not happy about a variety of circumstances there. Anyway, not getting to go to the Super Bowl was the final straw. I'm told that he quit the night of the Super Bowl or the Saturday before the Super Bowl, one or the other, to shove it up their asses.
Right.
And that opened up the job that a week or 2 later, it had to be within 2 weeks, that I saw on a website where all aspiring television anchors and reporters went to find jobs. This is how it worked, called Medialine.com. Jackson, is Medialine.com still functioning?
Good or
Persian
bad,
Kitty is not.
Goodorbad.com acquired it 2 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know we acquired it. It now has German on it.
I'm seeing Trusted Media Mideast News.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm seeing something in German. Well, either way, that's where I went to. I saw the job. I'm like, oh, KMOV's hiring. All I want to do is get to St. Louis by the time I'm 30. I'm 23 years old.
Oh, geez, yeah. Way ahead of it.
And I'm sending tapes to everywhere. And you're literally sending VHS tapes.
Right.
And I'm making no money. So I have to be very careful with the $3.25 in postage. I'm sending it to Pensacola. I'm sending it to Roanoke. I'm sending it to East Lansing. Get me the fuck out of here.
Roanoke. Holy shit.
So I could maybe go make 25.
Yeah, you and Sir Walter Hill.
I don't know who that is.
I believe that's like Roanoke. I think like the whole town disappeared in the.
Well, that would have been disappointing if I got the job.
Settlement era, and I think Sir Walter Hill. I swear that. I mean, if this is true, Sir Walter Raleigh. Damn it. Never mind.
Otherwise, that would have really resonated with the audience.
I'll edit that out.
So I'm like, God, I remember going to the Little Rock. I lived in an town called Quapaw.
Quapaw?
That's right. It was kind of like Soulard of Little Rock. That's what I'd say. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of Arkansans watch this and go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
And it's $3.25. And I'm like, what's the point? There's no way I'm getting this job. But I'm thinking to myself, kind of like I established a relationship with the news director in Memphis, which was a big deal. And I'm like, ooh. She goes, you're gonna do something in this industry, but you're too young.
Yeah.
She couldn't probably say it that way because they can't say that. But you're like, maybe in a couple of years, we're gonna hire you.
Right.
I'm like, all right, 2 more years in Little Rock to get to Memphis.
Did they have the Grizz by then?
No, they did not.
So is this Redbirds?
Brother, I was looking at Roanoke.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, beggars can't be choosers.
Where there was literally no people.
Right. Sir Walter White.
Sir Walter White. I think, is Walter Hill like he sells cheap golf equipment?
Angela White. Very popular. Doesn't really do it for me.
Australian.
But that's not nice.
No, director. Director. He directed 48 Hours.
With Angela White.
She might have put out her own version of 48 Hours, but I don't think it was the same one.
$3.25. I gotta be careful here. I'm like, fuck it, I'll send it. And maybe they'll be like, oh, we can keep an eye on this kid in Little Rock, and maybe when we have an opening in 10 years, we'll hire him. And I send the tape, and it's Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day in Little Rock, February 14th, 2000. And this whole thing exists because of Ricky Prohl catching the ball against the Buccaneers.
Wow.
And I sit in front of my Gateway desktop.
Dial-up
season.
Yeah, probably riddled with God knows what.
Now, what did that mean right there, what you said?
I have maybe some early Angela White film.
Angela White would have been 2.
I really? She seems like she's...
What do you think?
I feel like she's older than you'd think.
Oh, God.
Australian. Age well.
We've already visited that. 39. So Angela White would have been 14. Either way, inappropriate. Wouldn't mind an apology.
I'll edit that out, too.
Yeah, we'll have to have a Twitter apology from Jackson. And I open up my email, tmckernan@hotmail.com, which still exists. I can't get into my fucking Hotmail, though. I can't get into it. And I don't really want to.
How many people you think in 2025 have said the sentence, I can't get into my fucking Hotmail? That's the title.
How many people under the age of 50 have ever said that?
Yeah, 100%. Like, dude, I don't know. That's the title. I can't get in my fucking Hotmail. That's unbelievable.
Oh, God. This is going to take me down quite a rabbit hole if I try to find this email, because all of like the famous emails in my life I saved in this folder, I'm able to scroll. I'm in the Hotmail, but on my phone. God, oh God. This is, I'm Jackson, I have emails from 1999 up.
Jesus Christ.
You're one.
Yeah, shit.
Holy shit.
1999 emails. How many, was email, how many people you were interacting with had email? In 99, most?
I guess at that time. I remember there was a class I had at Missouri, and I think it was 96. And the professor said, well, you got to have an email account. I'm like, well, that's it. I'm out. And I withdrew from the class. I've been
professional stance.
You seem like you're relatively intelligent. Why didn't you graduate? Stories like that.
Dropping out of the class solely because the correspondence was through email.
God almighty. What is this?
Did you think letters were still going to have a big run after that?
God, who sent me this? This is really like, this is I could all of a sudden be emotional here. I don't know what the hell. Okay, got it. There was a guy who was so kind. I don't know if he's still around. I know that sounds weird. He worked in Toronto. He was like, I don't know if Toronto's obviously a big market, but not one that you think of in the United States, right. Who got my tape. His name was Randy Steinman.
Nice.
And he sent me this long raving about my tape. I'm surprised I don't have the email from KMOV. Holy shit. Yeah, I haven't thought about this. I was just talking about Ricky Prohl's catch, but then so I get the email. I have a girlfriend at the time, and it's Valentine's Day. I'm sure I didn't get her anything nice because I'm fucking broke.
Right. 22 large.
22 large. Again, I hope that doesn't come off as a brag.
Right. Gross. Again. Gross.
That's right. And there wasn't a bonus structure. And I'm like, I go into I can't believe I had another bedroom now that I think about it, but the place had 2 bedrooms. And I see the email, and it's from the news director at KMOV, a guy by the name of Steve Hamill. And he's talking about how much he likes the tape. And he wants to fly me up I don't know if he said he wanted to fly me up for an interview then, but he said I think I know what I did. This is what I would do, which was probably annoying and not good to do, but I did it. And now 25 years later, I wouldn't do it. But now I know the dynamic of the industry. Back then, now the industry's so different. Right. But I would, quote unquote, follow up to see if they got my tape, with a conversion rate of responses hovering probably somewhere around 15%. But he responded right away. And he said, I got your tape, really liked it, we'll be in touch. And what I wrote back was something along the lines of, thank you so much, I would do the job for free, which is actually a business model now in local television.
Right, yeah. That doesn't even need to be said anymore.
It's implied. You broker time. But I think it was that passion and the fact that I was from St. Louis. I know that probably was, top 3, that he loved that. They have me fly up for an interview, and I remember thinking to myself, because it wasn't like the Little Rock situation was good. I've told the story on the podcast before. I had been relegated to doing sports from the sports office because the very socially conservative general manager thought that I was making references to masturbation during my sportscasts. And I can't even remember. Oh, because I said jacked up. I think it was the Razorbacks are jacked up to face Alabama. Sean Alexander, for the record.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so since she thought I was a live wire making references to masturbation at 22 years old on the anchor desk in Little Rock, I couldn't possibly be trusted to be on the ag. She relegated me to the sports office. So that is why I'm sending tapes to markets much smaller than Little Rock, including your favorite of Roanoke.
I have some information on Roanoke real quick. In 1587, 117 English colonists arrived on Roanoke Island and established a permanent settlement. The colony's leader, John White, returned to England in 1586 to request supplies and manpower. When he returned in 1590...
In 1950, this guy's... Can we get him on the podcast?
Yeah, he was Encino Man. In 1590, he returned to the island with a group of privateers and found the settlement empty. The only clues left behind were the words Croatia... Croatoan.
Nice.
That's it.
That's what we got on Roanoke, where I was dying to go.
Yeah, and there was no one there.
So emotionally, when I get the call to go on an interview, what you may think is the greatest news ever, and it was, I'm thinking I'm inside the 1 yard line on something that I had like a John Elway, Cleveland Browns drive kind of situation that I was up against. Again, I would have gone and been excited about Roanoke, East Lansing, Pensacola. We were in a desperate situation. And now it's the only place I want to go. I would have rather gone to St. Louis than New York or LA, as crazy as that might sound. It's all, they used to give me shit in Columbia. Like, you might have an opportunity to go somewhere, you're going to turn it down because you just want to work in St. Louis. But that's all I wanted to do. And now it's like, now I've got the interview. And I remember this guy, I can't remember what his name, oh yeah, I do know, I remembered. I wonder if he's still working in the industry. So what agents would do with young people like me, wow, this guy's a CEO now. But I don't know if he's still, oh yeah. Kenny Slotnick was his name, Jackson. And he is now the CEO of AGI Entertainment Media and Management. So God bless, he's still in the game. And he's in New York City where he was when we were talking. And I remember talking to him. So what they would do is they find people who are young, and then they get them when they're in smaller markets like Little Rock, and then they kind of bring them along. So if they hit,
right,
then they're their guys,
sure,
or ladies, as the case might be. And he goes, now, when you get to KMOV, which I had never been inside of before, he goes, you've never seen anything like it.
It's like he's taking you to the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
He goes, don't be intimidated, because it's already, everybody's aware you're super young, too young, whatever the fuck the situation is. Added into the fact that I'm, like 3 feet tall and look young. It's going to make, had a beautiful head of hair.
Yeah.
So I remember I saw Doug when I went to interview there, I think in late February of 2000. Never met Doug before. I'd seen him, you might remember this, I think we were at the movies together in 1988 at Kenrick to see Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking, wow.
Sounds like you think that's bad.
Never seen it.
You don't like Bruce Willis's sperm? Bruce Willis was talking sperm.
Look Who's Talking, that was 1989. And
I'd like to have that double checked.
I'm staring as Travolta, Bruce Willis, and then everyone else I've never heard of before in my entire life. Not true.
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie, show respect.
See, I barely know her. Oh, Abe Vigoda's in it.
Yeah, of course he was.
Sally.
He's more known for that role, trust me, than The Godfather.
Yeah. Olympia Dukakis.
The cousin of Michael Dukakis, who I saw in the very same lobby where I saw Doug Vaughn in 2000.
Wow, all right.
But it was a different time. Same lobby, One Memorial Drive, which Doug talks about people shooting bullets into, which is why KMOV moved.
And you saw...
Even though there's a standalone Auntie Anne's now downtown.
Right, and it's big. So you and Doug saw Look Who's Talking together?
No. Because you're going to have to apologize for that now. Because I was 12, even though you said it was 89 and I'd be 13.
Yeah, mentorship.
No, I took my girlfriend Jenna.
12
She was beautiful. I was over my skis.
Nice.
We went to see Look Who's Talking. What else are you going to take Jenna to?
That makes sense.
Thank you. And Doug came wandering in. And I'm like, oh, there's Doug Vaughn from Channel 4.
Fresh out of coming from Miami, too, probably, right?
1988, probably so. Yeah. Little did he know, 40 years later, we'd be doing a program together.
You'd be sexually harassing each other on a daily basis.
Correct. Hey, I just want to let you know, I'm 12 right now, but in 40 years, I'll be sexually harassing you along with thousands of other men.
What's fucked up is Doug would probably have been like, yeah, all right.
Okay. So I see Doug he was going out on a story. And I think I introduced myself, but like as a fan.
Nice.
Much less I'm going in for the interview.
Yeah.
And I go in for the interview, and I'm so fucking nervous. But on top of it, this guy who was kind of going to be my agent told me, you've never seen anything before like KMOV. Now, the station in Little Rock, it's tough to describe it. KTHV, if somebody for some reason wants to look it up, and I think it's still the same, had like super high ceilings for the newsroom, considering it's not a big market, not the smallest market, Market 57 at the time. I don't know what it is now. I do know that it was a bigger market than Austin, Texas at that time. How fucked up is that?
That's crazy.
And so I'm thinking, I mean, I guess Julius Hunter is riding around on a pony, you know, Savard's probably driving a Bentley. This just must be. And the door, or this heavy security door, opens, and it looks like people had been, it looks like a smoke tank at the airport. It's depressing. The ceilings are, I have to like duck to walk in. The ceilings are so low, they're smoke stained. It's an asbestos festivus.
Nice.
And it's just like clearly a bunch of people have been working there forever and just aren't really all that excited about it.
Right.
And I remember going to lunch at what was Tony's downtown, but they had this side thing called Anthony's Bar, and that's where I went with, I believe, the assistant news director, gentleman by the name of Marty Van Housen. And there was one of those revolving doors. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. And he walks in it, and as opposed to waiting for the next one, I walk in the same revolving door.
So you're right on his ass? Oh, that's a bad move.
I want that putt back so bad.
Because you probably had to like stutter in, you know?
And I remember him looking over his shoulder, and obviously he has to look down.
Yeah,
and I just think he's like, okay. I mean, you know, it's cute that the kid is here and he's from St. Louis. Yeah. But this motherfucker can't even figure out a revolving door, and we're going to have him be the number 3 guy in the sports department. We're not doing this.
It's like getting on an escalator with another person and then getting on the same step, as opposed to going one down or 2.
Oh, God.
That's a hilarious visual. That's so fucking funny.
Oh, God. Nonetheless, have the interview. I meet Savard, meet Doug, and the sports office is so shitty. There's just tapes everywhere. It's so shitty. I mean, it's so shitty. And I'm sitting there, and like after 5 minutes, there's not much else to say. There's not a tour. It's about as big as this fucking thing we're in.
Sports office?
The sports office at KMOV.
Got it.
And I'm like a fan of Steve Savard. And they got producers, like real life producers. These people do not exist anymore, I promise you. And editors, because we weren't allowed to touch the equipment. IBW. You know what that stands for? Of course you don't, because you hate union people. I've heard you say it. You might as well not deny it.
International Brotherhood Electrical Workers?
Oh my goodness. It must have held you up one time at Ladue, huh?
I've seen broadcast news.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
With William Hurt.
Yeah. William Hurt.
Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks, who I always get confused with Robert Wool. They looked very similar at the time.
It's a little anti-Semitic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But you can do that.
Yeah, I can. That's self-loathing, not anti-Semitism.
Okay. I'm sitting there after 5 minutes, and Savard goes, well, I guess you can sit here and watch us put the sportscast together.
And you did. I bet you took him up on that.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's, you know, I'm like, my flight's not till the night, going back to Little Rock. Yeah. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking psychologically, if I get this close to the end zone, and again, it's not that the situation in Little Rock was tenable. I'm trying to get anywhere in the country. Right. I'm dropping down markets. That isn't the way that it usually works in the industry. Roanoke. At 23, Roanoke. Dying to get to Roanoke. Can't get a return call from the news director in Roanoke.
What the fuck do you cover in, I guess, UVA in North Carolina?
No idea.
Were the Panthers
it didn't matter.
Around?
I just needed to get out.
Right,
this lady, they're calling me a Yankee. Right. She has a worldview that doesn't, I don't think, match up with mine. She believes I'm making masturbatorial references. Right. You know, like playing a Beatles album backwards. That's what I'm doing on the Sportscast. Shout out to all the people beating off in Little Rock tonight.
Right, and you're doing this for a cool 22 large.
Exactly right. I got to get this fucking job.
Right.
And I don't think I can handle not getting the job. And so I fly back to Little Rock, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I can't. What do I? It's out of my hands now. Now we're just waiting.
Yeah.
And I think I did the thing like hey, just checking in. Probably like at 6 a.m. the next day.
This would be an email, right? You're sending an email.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got it. I didn't know if Media Line had a DM section.
DMing it. And the news director called me back, and I'm like, probably on like a cordless phone is what I was in,
Nice.
On a cell phone.
Blessed.
And he said, hey, I forgot to ask you a question when you were in. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I guess he found out about the Persian Kitty subscription or something, And he goes, I forgot to ask if you wanted the job. And I'm like,
oh wow. Like a greeting card.
Oh, Bill.
That's nice.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill. To this day, one of the greatest moments of my life.
For sure.
To this day, one of the greatest moments of my life. For real. If you were doing like Mount Rushmore, childbirth, that orgy in Las Vegas, and I think the 3.5-hour QFTA 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was, for me, that was 1 and 1A, baby.
And I forgot to ask if you wanted the job. And I mean, and on top of it, like the money, it's a substantial increase.
Right.
Is truly a substantial increase. And I'm 23, I mean, I would have been happy with that probably at 30. But the thing about it is I'm not even thinking about that. Like he could have said, hey, it's going to pay 23. I would have been like, whatever, don't give a fuck.
Right. And you're getting a raise and
it's a raise.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And the best was calling my parents. I don't even think I could tell that story now because I would probably start weeping, actually. So I can't do it. I won't do it. But as you can imagine, to be able to tell your parents you were coming home, holy shit. But what made it so significant was the hell I was going through there, and that I stuck it out, and then it landed in St. Louis. And then starting on, I think it was March 22nd, 2000 was my first day there. That was the day they sent me to Dick Vermeil when he was moving out of St. Louis. And I showed up at the MAC after he had spoken, and somehow the news desk had been tipped off that he was moving back to Pennsylvania that day. And they said, hey, ask him if he will do an interview, and you can shoot videos of him packing up. I mean, Dick Vermeil could be downstairs at El Balago right now, and I'm not sure I would go down there. But then I go to the MAC with my photographer, who was young as well, a guy from New York, talented photographer. And I walk up to him and I go, hey, Coach, would it be all right if we go to your house and shoot you moving? I mean, he's just like, what the fuck?
I know, that is...
I just, well, seriously. But then his response was, he goes, well, I guess I can't stop you from doing it. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I guess that's right. And I'm going, of course you can.
Yeah.
It's this fucking house.
Well, he likely sold it.
You're
It had been on a public street.
And I remember
fucked up.
It was in Chesterfield. It's like there's like villas off of Clarkson, or like townhouses. That's where he was.
Yeah.
You can go there now. He's gone.
The house of Vermeil. There's a plaque.
Vermeil. Yeah, maybe there's a plaque. Dixie lived here, and I knock on the door, and his wife Carol, who I had only seen on the Super Bowl, answers the door and sees me and a cameraman, and she goes, "Ah."
Fair response.
And she goes, "Dick, there's guys here with a camera." I mean, moving is the worst experience anyway, and now all of a sudden you got some asshole, 23 years old, wanting to do an interview. And then I go, can we do an interview? So like the house is basically empty, so we find like 2 folding chairs in his living room, and I start Chris Farley showing it with him. And God, I thank God Doug talks about how this news director that he hated had him throw out all the tapes. So all these archives of incredible St. Louis sports moments are just gone, which is just ridiculous, but whatever. But in one sense, I'm glad these tapes don't exist because holy shit, hearing me go, so tell me about what you thought when you guys scored the touchdown against the Vikings. Okay, what'd you think about the Ricky Prohl catch? Okay, what about Isaac's catch? And what about Mike Jones's tackle? Oh, gosh.
That package run that night? I have to think.
Well, I mean, again, to have two microphones in television at the time, for me coming from Little Rock, where oftentimes I was interviewing Derek Fisher and Corliss Williamson, which probably gets you a soft cow,
pretty soft,
holding a very heavy camera and then doing the one-man band thing, holding the mic while I ask him questions, and on top of it, Corliss Williamson's bigger than me.
Certainly.
I know that might surprise some
Fisher
people.
might, but then you probably...
We've done some interviews, so I was a little closer there. So I didn't realize Savard said, "Hey, do the interview, and we'll run it on Sports Sunday," which was the hour-long show that Doug still goes back in, I believe, and anchors because he just loves the exposure.
That's right. He's addicted to it.
And so the interview was a good interview, even though it was the Chris Farley show. But I didn't put on a mic, and so it ran on Sunday night like something that would run on public access in Glendive, Montana, which, for the record, was the smallest market in television at that time and still might be, market 212.
And
if you thought you were living in poverty in Little Rock, imagine working in Glendive. I hope the Colonel doesn't mind me saying this, but he was making $12K in Rapid City, South Dakota.
$12,000.
$12,000.
How is that legal?
People
That's indentured servitude.
But think about the exposure.
Right.
Now Gabe gets to feel the hate mail on his message board. I don't know which one he'd rather do.
Every 2 weeks he would get a check for like, what, $400?
And the best was they're like, "Hey, this is Gabe now. You can picture it." He goes, "Hey, I just got here. They're looking for a number 2 guy. I'm making 12, so I can't imagine what it's going to pay." He goes, "If you want it." And I go, "I think I'm going to hold out."
God.
And he goes, "I think it's a good call."
12. What was his rent? $80? Probably free in Glen Rapid City.
So they play the Vermeil interview, and then like a bad stag film, you hear me voicing the questions in the studio, and then Vermeil answering them.
Like you were pretending, like you were like dubbing.
Acting.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, put the camera on, you'd set it up, and then go right in.
No.
You just pretended.
No, I'll tell you what. The next day, Jim Edmonds was acquired from the Angels.
Oh wow.
And like a week later, they're in town for their workout the day before the season. And I probably was walking around there with a soft cow.
Yeah.
And Edmonds got to St. Louis with a reputation of being difficult. And so I was like, oh, I got to talk to Edmonds. But I'm just so excited to be down on the field at Busch Stadium.
Right.
And I remember Andy Bennis, you call him Dandy Beans.
Always have.
Was on the 2000 Cardinals. And I just don't know the protocols. I mean, fuck, I just showed up at Dick Vermeil's house a week earlier while he's moving, so clearly anything's in play.
Savard was probably like,
this guy's great.
He's like a gadget.
This asshole.
Yeah, we can have him do anything.
This asshole will do anything.
Yeah.
So Andy Bennis in the middle of a workout, he just like thrown pitches and come off the mound like for a side session, but he's doing it on the the main field, not in the bullpen. And he's like, and on top of it, now I know he's like the nicest guy, the nicest guy. So for me to piss off Andy Bennis, like within the first 3 minutes of being at Busch Stadium.
And Vermeil's wife. 48 hours.
And I go, he comes in off the field, and I'm just hungry little doggy. And I go, hey, Andy, can I get you to sit down for a conversation? He goes, how about after I'm done pitching?
That's probably the most polite way he could have answered that. Because I don't really know how else.
Oh, okay. Sounds good then.
That's unbelievable.
So then, get done. Now, Edmonds is on the team. I don't know. Now, years later, we'd be creeping out all over the place together. But I don't know him at the time. And for whatever reason, even though he was a star with the Angels, I just didn't really, I knew he had the catches and all that stuff. I guess I didn't realize how big of a deal the acquisition was. Speaking to you dismiss Anaheim as a market for sports. And this might be speaking to it. And he sits down for an interview, and then after I'd fucked up the Vermeil thing, I'm like, hey, do you mind if I shoot questions? So Edmonds is sitting there, and I'm rephrasing the questions while he sits there on the interview that we had just done. Jesus. And he had to have been thinking, what fucking podunk. I just came from Los Angeles, and I've got a 23-year-old reshooting the questions he just asked me while I sit here and politely listen to this. And at some point, after probably 5, because I probably stumbled through it because I was probably pissing myself, Edmund goes, hey, you about done?
To which you responded, no, I have 2 more questions I have to rephrase in front of you.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes you got to learn the lessons the hard way.
And then like a week later, I'm on the plane with the Blues to San Jose, and that's when the fight happened, in which Naum is here, the photographer for KMOV, was sitting next to me. I'm on the window seat. I don't think I'd been further than Lawrence, Kansas, west of Lawrence, Kansas, one time in my life. 1998. Went with Jennings Jr., Dave Green, to the PGA Championship, won by Vijay Singh, of course.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
From Fiji.
That's correct. But other than that, I'm not a well-traveled man.
Sure, yeah.
I hadn't been on an airplane until 1997.
Right, because your mom had a
Because my mom didn't fly.
Right.
And now I'm on the Blues charter, and they just lost game 2. So we're going back to San Jose, and the President's Trophy team's 1-1. And I'm just sitting there, and when Malcolm Briggs walks in, I go, fuck, this is incredible. Next thing, here comes Pronger, here comes McKinnis, there's Joel Quenneville. But I'm in like the front section of the media. The players are in the back, the executives, Joel Quenneville, Larry Plow, Mark Sauer, they're all in the front. So I'm really close to them.
Yeah.
And then the guy behind me is a photographer who works somehow for Fox Sports Midwest. And Pavel Demitra, number 38, had not played in that game. The Blues had lost, and, you know, he's from Eastern Europe. And somewhere over Utah, he tells my photographer, Naum, to go, who's from Kiev, to go back there and tell Pavel Demitra, because this gentleman might have been enjoying a nip of the cooking sherry. He says, go back there and tell Pavel what a pussy he is. And I'm going, Jesus, these fucking plane rides with these guys are nuts. Because it's my first one. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Sure.
And Naum, who to me, I'm thinking he's probably 90, but he's probably like 41. You know, he goes, boy, this is awkward. And I'm just like, fucking Rocky Mountains right over here now. Look at this. I've never seen these motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're like a toothless girl.
I couldn't be excited.
At the going to America's Got Talent. They sent me on an airplane.
Couldn't be more excited about it. And it continues. He's like banging on the seat. And this guy's older too. Now, again, in my mind, he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
Probably was in his late 30s.
Right.
And he's yelling at Naum to go back to the players section, which is littered with Hall of Famers.
Right. I mean, you just listed 5 of them.
McKinnis, Pronger, Turgeon. I feel like I'm lifting. Roman Turek isn't in yet.
Right.
I feel like I might be missing another one. But either way, to go back there and yell at Pavel Demitra for not playing and call him a pussy.
Jesus.
But again, it's my first flight, so I don't know.
Right.
And then seconds later, Mark Sauer, who's the president of the team, turns around and he goes, if you don't shut your fucking mouth right now, I'm going to land this plane at the nearest airport and you're getting off a goddamn thing. And I go, oh, I guess this isn't normal.
Right. Was not standard operating procedure.
And I haven't had a more exciting flight since. But I didn't know at the time that this isn't just what goes on. Because this is my first time traveling with a professional team. And I'm like, I guess these guys just get shit-faced and just say ridiculous stuff and start fighting.
Right. The media, of course, tells it to the players.
Not the guys in the back with millions of dollars and not the guys in the front with millions of dollars, but the media.
Yeah, they go call people out on the plane that the team is paying for.
Holy shit.
2 questions, Tim.
I'm taking questions.
Cool. First question, you talked about being at, for your interview, Savard offered the opportunity to see them create the sportscast.
Right.
Was that experience anything like being with Rich Gould when he created his sportscast?
Very different experiences for Rich when I interned for him in the summer of 97. Said, all right, Junior, it's 6 o'clock. Turn on 2, 4, and 5. Let's figure out what we'll do at 9.
So you've been watching Channel 4. You've been taking their material the whole summer.
Yeah, I believe the statute of limitations is up for the plagiarism.
For sure. And then my second question is, the following year, did you catch Look Who's Talking 2, spelled T-O-O, of course?
Ooh.
It was released in 1990. The first one, 1989, so I assume they shot them back-to-back like Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah. It's probably so. I probably saw it.
Yeah. It got
Jenna and I had broken up. I was cucked.
Really?
Was cucked.
Like a dance or a mixer?
There was a party, and I recall saying to her, I said, I think this guy, and he might have been the one hosting the party.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think he's got eyes for you. And I'm not invited to this party, you know. I'm a bit of a hoodlum.
Right.
He's well heeled. I kind of think that there might be something doing. And that was a Saturday night. That Sunday morning, she called me and she said, you know what you were worried about happening? I said, yeah. She goes, well, it happened. Cucking right there. Cucking.
You're
cucking season.
Intuitive, though, from a very early age.
Yeah. It's not a good thing.
No,
because
it's a curse.
It kind of is. Yeah. Because then you know bad shit's coming.
Yeah. Wow. That's tough. Yeah. Getting cucked that early.
Yeah.
Had you been, this is probably...
I'm taking all questions.
Sure. Had your seeming interest in lesbianism kicked in at that point?
Oh, that's a really nice question. That's a really nice question. I think that it had, and the reason was, you ever go to John Bernstein's house?
Yeah, I was there like a month ago.
Okay. John Bernstein had HBO and Showtime.
Oh,
okay.
Big money.
Lived over on Winona.
Oh, wow.
Behind the Target.
Yeah, I know where that is.
You're damn right you do. And you know, late at night, like at 9, they would start putting on Emmanuel movies or Lady Chatterley's Lover.
God, the 80s were wild. Lady Chatterley's Lover? Was that like upscale Penthouse, but on television?
Yes.
Okay.
So you've seen it.
Yeah, I watch reruns at Bernstein's house. He hasn't moved on.
I know. I mean, the man's 50 now.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
The feeling I got, like the weightlessness I got when Emmanuel found a friend in Bangkok who was sapphic.
Right, but they probably shot it in Vancouver.
They probably shot it over on Winona.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, I don't know what this is about, but I really like it.
Yeah.
And here I am, damn near 40 years later, longing for the same thing. So to answer your question, yes. Now, how this ties into the unfortunate cucking is beyond me, but I'm answering your question.
Right. No, I appreciate you answering the questions, yeah. So I guess my homework from this podcast is to watch both Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking 2.
And Lady Chatterley's Lover and Emmanuel in Bangkok.
Emmanuel in Bangkok.
That's correct.
So Emmanuel is the name of the woman who started
That's correct. Now, let me tell you something. Yeah. I want you to listen, and I want everybody listening to this podcast to listen real good and close here.
Yeah, turn my earbuds.
In the 1990s, there was Emmanuel in space.
God. Why? These franchises, they just got to go to space. Jason, I think, went to space.
Now, I don't know what goodorbad.com has it as.
We don't really have a softcore section yet. We're working on that. Beta testing it.
But you've seen the film Liar, Liar.
With the great Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
Good law drama. Looking at it one way.
And there's a scene in an elevator with a large-breasted woman. And her name is Krista Allen.
Oh, wow, yeah. Full circle.
Why is it full circle?
We were talking about Look Who's Talking.
Well, what's that got to do with Krista Allen?
Oh, I was thinking of Kirstie Alley.
You don't know the difference between Kirstie Alley and Krista Allen.
We
got to do show prep, man. We got to do show prep.
Yeah. Kirstie Alley, unfortunately, passed away 2 years ago.
Right. So you'll be issuing yet another apology on Twitter. You're going to have a big day on Twitter.
You're up to 71.
Earlier today while talking about Emmanuel in space.
Emmanuel in space. And so there's lesbianism, intergalactic lesbianism?
Let me tell you something, brother. I don't know why, All I know is, for some reason at the Sigma Chi house, outside of a wide variety of other nefarious activities,
Sure.
500 South College, I believe Delta Chi's are in it for one more year.
Yeah.
And then they're out, and then we're back, and then we'll get kicked off campus again.
For sure.
And then Hallie's comment will come around, and we'll be back on campus. But for some reason, in the early afternoon, these guys who would haze our balls off would stop everything they're doing to watch Days of Our Lives.
What?
I'm just telling you, this is what happened.
Hey,
now,
hey, kids, stop. We're going to go watch a soap opera.
there is nothing more satanic than a guy banging on bongo drums high as fuck while watching Days of Our Lives, and then as soon as it ends, pops in Somewhere Under the Rainbow with that panther who emerges from under the bed with both sets of genitals. And he's got the hair up like alfalfa.
Right.
It's like a little point.
Right.
And boy, I'll tell you though, the women in the scene really were into him, so he must have a wonderful tongue.
Yeah.
But they're all watching Days of Our Lives. Initially, the character of Billy was played by Lisa Rinna.
Yes, I was married to, what's his name? Harry Hamlin.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And she was Brio
Oh, my God.
before Brio opened up shop.
Oh, my God. They could put her as a logo.
Now, I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I do know this. At some point in the mid-1990s, Lisa Rinna left Days of Our Lives, but the character Billy did not go with her. Billy, just out of nowhere one day, was Krista Allen.
Oh, nice.
Show continues. We don't address it.
No.
Billy is here.
Yeah, well-
Billy, to let the audience know all these guys that are smacked out of their mind in Columbia, Missouri watching this shit while playing bongo drums as a prequel to watching Somewhere Under the Rainbow, that this is the new Billy. It's Krista Allen, who would then leave Days of Our Lives and be on Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey. Things don't take off from the elevator scene with Jim Carrey, however, but they do when she plays Emmanuelle in Space. Sweet mother of mercy.
Was she like banging aliens?
All I know is there was sapphic play.
Sure.
If there was a scene with an alien, I don't want to kink shame, but that isn't my speed.
Well,
And again, if that's what people get off to.
Yeah.
God bless. We don't kink shame.
yeah.
But for me, beautiful woman, sapphic, sure she's in space. But my God. And I think that was the gasoline on the fire that had been lit by Lady Chatterley's lover over at John Bernstein's house in Emmanuelle in Bangkok.
That's unfunny.
And was that starring Sylvia Crystal? Is it Cristal? Bottles of Crisp, Pop Crisp if you like. My ass glisten on a light. I'm with Rockland Wright, so I'm rich for life. It's like heaven. Everybody want to get to me.
Oh, man. So much there. I'm trying to... Emmanuelle in Space is not something that's necessarily on my radar, but we're going to look it up. We're going to do it on this Hubbard machine, too. Emmanuelle in Space. Emmanuelle in Space. Yeah, here it is. And the genre is erotic.
You better believe it is.
Paul Michael Robinson.
Yeah, I'm not really, that wasn't the focus.
Well, he played Captain Ron Williams.
Right.
I'm going to read the premise here on the podcast, if you don't mind. The series starred Krista Allen as Emmanuelle, a hedonistic young woman who finds herself teaching the ways of sexuality to a group of aliens who land on Earth, and Paul Michael Robinson as an alien space captain with a very waspy-sounding name. The story follows an extraterrestrial space crew that finds Emmanuelle on Earth and enlists her to help understand human love and sexuality.
Exactly right.
As in the case with the other Emmanuelle films, Emmanuelle in Space contains much nudity and sexual content.
It does.
And you can still get it on DVD. So here's going to be your Christmas present.
Well, it would be nice if somebody would get it for me.
Yeah.
I think it only made 7 episodes.
It did. It had that one. It had A World of Desire in 94. Also, all of these are in 94. A Lesson in Love, Concealed Fantasy, A Time to Dream, One Final Fling, followed up by The Meaning of Love.
Yep, The Meaning of Love. It was always about the romance, even if you're fucking aliens.
She's gorgeous, though.
Thank you.
Truly gorgeous.
And the next thing you know, she's engaging in Sapphos.
Yeah, I can see why this was getting you rolling.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ricky Prohl catches that ball, and I get the job in St. Louis.
Emmanuelle in Space. Let's see if they're selling it.
A lot of motherfuckers going to be watching Emmanuel in space. Probably right now. Or
It was actually... They've actually changed the title since then to Emmanuel First Contact. Like it's fucking 2001. Oh my god.
Space Odyssey.
Yeah, I want to see if there's any reviews.
I need to leave one. Tim McKernan from WXOS in St. Louis says in 2025.
Big fan.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
6 out of 10 stars. Had good-looking girls, barring all, and frequently the acting was pretty stilted. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Krista, people are really high on Krista Allen. 3 out of 10 call it substandard.
What?
Yeah. The production values only slightly exceed Ed Wood territory. Shots fired. And cinematography is best at irritating as the camera constantly circles around the couples making love.
Yeah, that's a little... You might have to slow things down there. Cucky the Dwarf says Emmanuel in space was top-notch. The Pope says Krista Allen's the same lady in the elevator scene in Liar Liar. You're damn right, the Pope.
Right. I do remember that scene.
Tony Big Toes wants to know if Emmanuel is streaming anywhere. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've watched it this century, but I might have to circle back. Kind of like the oil scene with Chasey Lane, Jill Kelly, and I think Kylie Ireland. But somebody will check on that for me.
Someone preempted their review with spoilers. like people watching this are in it for the fucking plot.
When they start playing Don't Stop Believin', watch for the guy in the members only jacket.
Right, yeah. Like that's a Emmanuel First Contact.
Yep. Just a wonderful presentation. What's Krista Allen doing now?
Krista Allen.
What is Krista Allen doing now? I mean, I guess she's got to be in her mid-50s at least.
Yeah, that's she's 53.
God, I can't believe she's only 53. Born in 71. Okay. 5'7". She was married to Mams Taylor.
Take a look at that gentleman's Wikipedia photo.
Mams Taylor
Wikipedia. It looked like it was taken on a LG chocolate in 2008.
LG chocolate. He's a British boxing promoter.
Sure, it's good work.
He's from Cucklewood, London. Cricklewood, London.
I think she's worked a lot. I mean,
what is she doing?
A lot of stuff that doesn't have Wikipedia pages, which is not a good sign.
Duff.
But she was in. I mean, she works steadily, but nothing I would describe as.
Wonder if we can get her on.
She was in the 420 movie called Mary and Jane, Paradise Cove. I mean, a lot of these sound like they didn't even get released anywhere.
How dare they?
Yeah. Married with Children. She was on Married with Children. Days of Our Lives, obviously, is Billy Reed for 3 years. She's probably still cashing checks. She was on Smallville. That was kind of a show for a little bit. 2.5 Men. So she's worked pretty steadily.
She still looks beautiful from what I can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just seeing things. Oh, right there. But I mean, again, this is...
She's a flight attendant on Modern Family. That's a backwards move.
Hey, on the Brio thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm looking at now.
Sure.
I feel if you see, well, you have, because you had the big announcement today on 101 ESPN of the Oscar nominations, which delighted the audience.
That's right.
Demi Moore.
Sure.
I think she looks beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my God. In the substance, she's legitimately gorgeous.
But when she won the Golden Globe, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The character she played in Landman, beautiful. Demi Moore, 62, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the difference is between why, and of course I don't know the answer, but why I'm sure a lot of it is cash, but why she can pull off what she's pulling off at 62,
right?
And why sometimes it kind of gets away.
Right.
You know what I mean? I guess it can be like hair transplants.
Yeah, that's that.
Same thing.
And also I think it's kind of like you get out what you put in. Like I think she's still grinding in the gym.
No, you think so?
Yeah, I think there's. I think she obviously had as good as one could have in terms of any Botox or anything like that. But also on top of that, I'm sure she's putting in a lot of work because your face can look beautiful at 62, but she looks like she's in her early 40s in the substance.
Oh my God,
it's crazy. If not younger.
Really?
It's really, she's gorgeous in it. And that whole movie is about exactly what we're talking about.
She brought women to bed for Ashton Kutcher.
She brought women were they together?
They were married.
Really?
Long time. One of the bigger Hollywood pairings of the 21st century. Goodorbad.com. Counsel will be contacting you for my investment.
I told you that money is spent. You have to come collect.
Well, maybe garnishing your wages, I guess.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's fine.
We can get some document.
They began dating in 2003. They got divorced in 2013.
Oh, wow. So I guess he was with Kunis right after that? Like immediately following? Because they've been married, I feel like, for 10 years. Ashton Kutcher, and I had no idea. That's crazy. Do they have kids together? I'd have to think.
I don't think so. This is unfortunate, but nonetheless, it at least acknowledges it. Wonderful article in the New Zealand Herald. You read that every morning for the show?
That in between watching reruns of Emmanuel with Bernstein.
Oh, yeah. Johnny Bernstein. He could do this with a Nintendo controller to move so fast in the track and field game. And I'm like, I can't beat John Bernstein. He does this.
Is this on NES?
Yeah. I couldn't do that. He's long fingers.
Yeah, sure. Long controller. It was like, took up.
But yay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of N64. N64 had the big controller.
Demi Moore has opened up about life with former husband Ashton Kutcher in a new memoir, claiming he pressured her into having 2 threesomes during their 8-year marriage.
Wow.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with that.
Big Kutch.
She says he then used the encounters to justify cheating on her.
Wow. In
the Hollywood actress's new book, Inside Out, Moore reveals she only wanted to please Kutcher by engaging in 3-way sex. But she now believes that doing so was a quote-unquote mistake.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to disagree. I wanted to show him how great and fun I could be. Moore also writes that in 2010, she saw media reports claiming Ashton Kutcher met 21-year-old Brittany Jones while bowling with Moore's daughter, Rumor Willis. Her daughter with Bruce Willis. Moore claims Kutcher cheated on her with Jones in his marital home while she was out of town filming a movie. Jones revealed to Star magazine, I did all the suggesting in the text. It was like he was paranoid and didn't want to text anything that would get him in trouble. I asked him if he wanted to meet. That's how we made the plans. She later claimed Ashton was a great lover.
Certainly. He also dated Brittany Murphy.
That's right. Brittany Jones, Brittany Murphy. Yeah. We do not know about Krista Allen.
Krista Allen just seems like she's, a working woman, but certainly not of Emmanuel fame of yesteryear. Which is, listen, work is work.
All right. I post on the TMA fan page on Facebook, which everybody should join because Jackson does a hell of a job moderating it.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture I posted?
I did, of the hairless gentleman who looked like Freddie Mercury.
No.
Oh, I was thinking
that was the tweet.
Okay, let me go to Facebook.
Okay, I'm gonna let this breathe so we can hear Jackson's response live on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Burkett visiting the TMA fan page. On Facebook.
It doesn't bode well for how often I'm on Facebook when I have 12 notifications.
That's why the moderating
is kind of falling by the wayside. That's on me. A lot of notifications. Where the hell is the TMA fan page? Have I been booted?
That'd be great.
Can I be a moderator and booted at the same time? I mean, all I have, I'm trying to find the fan page. Sorry, this is bad. Oh, I know why. Because I'm on the wrong Instagram.
Burner season.
No, 101's Facebook page. Oh, okay. So this is a picture. I assume you're in this photo. Oh, I see you are. Oh my God. Trust you. Is that you?
That's right.
It really does it looks like your older son, a little bit.
I have to say, and I hate that for him. I really do. Now, he has blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you see that, because that was what I thought.
Yeah, it really looks like.
Now, I know that many are focused on those shorts, which were called jams.
Yeah, and they're short.
And that's the St. Gabriel Schoolyard.
Okay, nice.
Oh, act like you didn't know.
Sure.
You recognize the outdoors of Cameron Indoor, right?
I do, yeah. And I can pick out that this is St. Gabe's from the 8 bricks I can see in the background.
Doesn't it look like a rap album cover?
Of the worst rap group of all time. It looks like, if the Sandlot crew started rapping. Because it's nice looking, this is nice.
It's diverse.
It is, yeah.
You have white guys with flat tops.
Yeah, you have heavier white guys and skinnier white guys. And one kid with the biggest glasses I've ever seen. He looks like fucking, who went married? Squints. He looks like Squints, yeah. Why are everybody's socks up to their knees.
It's 1986, brah.
Fair. Another thing that bodes well for the moderation is that I've hit my time limit that I've set for Facebook.
Set a time limit for Facebook.
And I've been on it for maybe 3 minutes. So shows you where I'm at. No, I like a throwback picture like this. I don't know why you're not looking at the camera.
Because I'm looking off to the side, taking everything in.
Sure, bowl cut. I mean, geez, a ruler on those bangs. Straight
like me and Marcus Freeman.
Yeah. You very similar hairlines. I'll tell you though, if I would have met you as a younger man like this, I would not have thought you would go bald.
I know.
It's a wonderful head of hair.
Anytime I would get my hair cut, the guy who was cutting my hair, this terrible toupee, and he would be on the Letterman show.
Oh wow, really?
Bill Blacks was his name.
Bill Blacks.
Bill Black.
Bill Black.
Tom Hanks. Bill Black.
Tony Bank.
That's right. And he would make like vests out of human hair that he would sweep up, and Letterman would have him on. I don't think he was like a guest that would get 15 minutes. I think this was kind of towards the end.
He would make vests out of human hair.
That's correct.
Is he Ted Levine in Silence of the Lambs? Buffalo Bill.
And every time he would cut my hair, he goes, "Oh, you have such wonderful thick hair."
This is not sweetening the deal. This is the creepiest sounding thing I've ever heard.
And I'd be like, great. Because when you're 12 years old, you don't realize what's coming around the corner in so many years. And it did. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
So now this 7-year-old of mine, he likes to sharpshoot me about being bald. And I go, listen here, you little prick. You have no idea what's coming in a decade. I used to do the same shit with my dad. Now look at me. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So guess what? These ladies might love you right now. That's great. Just know it's coming down Broadway.
Certainly.
You little motherfucker, you.
Yeah, there's full. That's Goodfellas, Pesci. Same year as Look Who's Coming To, or whatever the name.
Who's Coming To is another film with Chris Allen. Look Who's Talking To is with the great John Travolta, Bruce Willis, and delightful Kirstie Alley, who's not Krista Allen.
Right, and Olympia Dukakis.
God almighty. And Olympia Dukakis, yeah. The dude to the left of you looks cool. That's from Cucky the Dwarf. I think I've left the fan page. I don't know what we're talking about.
He's wearing a hat that looks like it's 10 sizes too big. I mean, it's over his entire ears. It's like one of those hats that has flaps on it, like in the cold.
Am I violating something by posting a bunch of private citizens as boys from 40 years ago? I don't know. I need to talk to counsel.
No, I'm having a busy day with them already today. No, I mean, not like they're any names. I don't even know who these people are.
I mean, well, I'll tell you who they are. They're city champions in basketball, as if you couldn't tell.
Right. Unbelievable. Where'd you come about this? Have you had this? You've been sitting on this gold?
I have some pictures that I occasionally just fire out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have anything new from Ella Reese because she just keeps fucking sending out her Apple Watch.
Seriously.
Let's go. Let's work. Let's work.
Has she come out with a scene in a while?
No.
Wow.
I'm a little worried. And so Abigail Max retired. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I guess I'll post, if I can't get something from them, I'll post something from the St. Gabriel Schoolyard in 85.
Yeah, try sourcing some more Emmanuel and Space tapes.
Right.
What if I got you a double set, a twin set of Wet Pink and Emmanuel and Space, a VHS, you'd have to figure out a way.
And Somewhere Under the Rainbow.
Just, a sweetener.
And I'd set that on the island in the kitchen, bring it home from the day at work. My boys would ask, what's this, Dad?
Do you think they even know what a VHS is?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I like the cases they would come in, like that bubble case.
They're wonderful, man.
They're cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told Jackson this would be 25 minutes. We're going to cut it off. How long do we go?
We'll take a wild guess. In fairness to you, I absolutely aided in it taking a while.
I know. I'll say an hour and 15.
It's exactly what it was.
Oh, fuck me.
No, I legit like this type of podcast where we're just like dicking around and
telling stories
and looking at photos from 1986. This is like, this is my shit right here. So I'd be no complaints from this side of the day.
Cucky the Dwarf says first thing most people see when they see that pic is that an elite basketball squad?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it looks like you guys your scores of your games looked like the 2000 NFC Championship, 11-6.
You know, that same year, the Michigan State Spartans didn't score a whole lot of points. Did they beat Florida that year? Did Florida 2000? Beat them? Mateen Cleaves?
2000 Michigan State football? And
no, basketball.
Oh, okay. Basketball, 2000. Michigan State, so they went to the tournament. I have to assume they were Big Ten regular season champs. Still coached. It was the 5th season for Tom Izzo. Good Lord. And they reached their 2nd consecutive Final Four with wins over Syracuse and Iowa State. They won every game by double digits despite playing the best possible seed in each round. They beat Wisconsin, and they triumphed over Florida 89-76.
Wow.
Despite losing Cleaves to an ankle injury 3 minutes into the second half.
Wow.
He still won tournament's most outstanding player.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, that's the St. Gabriel team that you're looking at.
Right. They had similar. Who was the Mateen Cleaves of the team?
Me.
You, I assume, right? You had how many threes at
6 3-pointers in one quarter at St. James the Greater 8th grade tournament in March of 1990, which I believe was the same afternoon that Missouri lost to, I think it was Northern Iowa as a 3 seed. So I went to the gym that day, driving down right by Chris's Pancakes, then veering on to Hampton to head to St. James in Dogtown. Just a bunch of poor people. That's all I am. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. You can't relate to this shit.
no shot.
And I'm like, the only way I can make this up is we're going to be down 24 going into the 4th quarter, and I'm going to lead us back to glory by hitting 6 threes, like going Reggie in the Garden, even though it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, you were the original splash bro.
Yeah.
I want to pull that coach aside and say, hey, the little guy is going to be shooting. After the first 2, put somebody on him.
Time to double team the 4'11" kid.
Yeah, if someone hitting 6 threes on you, you just
7 holy founders. Call out their coach if you want.
send the double. Like he's not taking it to the rack.
Looks like Cucky the Dwarf watched this play. Says bunch of hard workers and guys who played the game the right way. Scrappy Ball Club.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. I got to go. I can't do this to Jackson. I can't. All right, it's time to go. Thank you to our sponsors, the great James Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Thank you to Seth Goldcamp, Design Air Heating and Cooling. Thank you to Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, online at evergreenstl.com. And Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. It's the great Jamie Burkhardt, Peter Munganess, and Ryan Seiberg in the service department. For Jackson Burkett, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Tim McKernan Show podcast.